Hello everyone, this subject is analog circuit and this is the third lecture of unit 1, and in the previous two lecture I have discussed about the basic diode circuit, that is rectifiers, half wave rectifier and full wave rectifier. In lecture 2 I was discussing about the full wave rectifier, that is full wave bridge rectifier and full wave center tap rectifier. So in this lecture we will see different parameters on which we define the performance of the rectifier circuit as we have done for the half wave rectifier. The same thing that we will be discussing for the full wave rectifier: peak inverse voltage, DC current, RMS current, voltages, all these parameters we will be discussing for the full wave rectifier circuits. This is the center tap full wave rectifier. The working of this rectifier I have discussed in the previous lecture. This rectifier is comprised of two diode and one load resistance, and this is the second one, full wave bridge rectifier, that has 4 diodes. So this is the drawback of this full wave bridge rectifier as compared to the full wave center tap rectifier, that in this the area requirement increases because the number of diodes used here are double of the full wave bridge rectifier. At the same time, the full wave bridge rectifier has another disadvantage in that we need to find the center point of the transformer. So that is difficult to find the center tap transformer point. So this circuit is showing the full wave rectifier, bridge rectifier with the smoothing capacitor. This capacitor is used to filter out the AC components appearing in the output of the full wave rectifier. This is the output of full wave rectifier. Here you can see the output is for each of the cycle of input. So 0, pi, 2 pi. If I am talking about sine wave, then we are getting output for 0 to pi, also for pi to 2 pi duration, but that DC output is having some AC component. So when we apply this capacitor, this is called the filter circuit of this full wave bridge rectifier. So this capacitor filters out the AC component of this unidirectional output. So we get an smoothened output in which the ripples are reduced. So how it is happening? When this here the current is flowing, then this capacitor starts charging, then it discharges for some duration, then again it starts charging, and we get an smoothened output as compared to the output of the bridge rectifier without this capacitor filter. Peak inverse voltage of full wave rectifier. Peak inverse voltage is the maximum voltage that a diode can handle in the reverse bias condition. So the circuit shown here is a full wave bridge rectifier. For this we have peak inverse voltage of 2 Vp, or the 2 times the maximum peak of the input signal. How this is appearing? For the positive half cycle, the Vp voltage is appearing across point A and C, and another Vp voltage is appearing across the C and B. So this diode that is off during positive half cycle need to be having the parameters such that it can withstand 2 Vp of the voltage without getting damaged. So peak inverse voltage for the bridge rectifier, for the center tap rectifier is 2 times of the peak amplitude of the input signal. PIV for bridge rectifier is VP, that is maximum peak value of the output, or we can say input, because here we have considered the diode to be ideal, and as the diodes are ideal, so there will be no drop. So if VP is our peak voltage at the input side, then obviously at the output we will be getting the VP. Being more specific, we can write it as VP output, that will include the drop across the diode if these diodes are not ideal diode. So PIV for bridge rectifier is VP, because in one cycle 2 diodes are conducting. So if I consider positive cycle, then these 2 diodes D1 and D2 will be operational, D3 and D4 will be off diodes. So PIV we find for the off diodes that can withstand the maximum level of the voltage. So PIV will appear across these 2 diodes. So across these 2 diodes, that voltage appearing is VP. So the maximum peak inverse voltage for bridge rectifier we get as VP, and in case of center tap rectifier we should have a diode with PIV of 2 VP. Then average DC current of full wave rectifier. So in the first lecture we have derived it for the half wave rectifier. So the DC current that we are getting into the full wave rectifier, that is 2 Im upon pi. So the output of full wave rectifier is appearing for the complete cycle. This is time t and output voltage, or I have written I, so we can take it I also, V or I. So 0, pi, 2 pi. So this 0 to pi output is for the positive half cycle of input, and this pi to 2 pi is for the negative half cycle of the input. So we are getting it for the positive as well as for the negative cycle of the input, and this output is repeating after pi. So here I have taken the interval 1 upon pi and integrating from 0 to pi I of d alpha, because after 0 to pi it is again starting the same pulse, pi to 2 pi, then from 2 pi to 3 pi. So here the limits I have taken 0 to pi, 1 upon pi I of d alpha. This will give the average value of current, that will come out to be 2 Im upon pi. So we can calculate it as 1 upon pi 0 to pi. Current that we have taken is sinusoidal, so I can write it in sinusoidal form as we have done for half wave rectifier, sin alpha d alpha. Taking Im out of this integration, Im upon pi 0 to pi sin alpha d alpha, that will give us Im upon pi. Integration of minus sin alpha is minus of cos alpha with limits 0 to pi. So from here we can write it as minus Im, let me write it as I average is equal to minus Im upon pi. Taking this minus out of this bracket, we get cos alpha 0 to pi. Putting the limits, Im upon pi cos pi minus cos of 0. This gives us minus Im upon pi minus 1, cos pi is minus 1 and cos 0 is 1. So, we get minus Im upon pi multiplied by minus 2. So, finally, we get 2 Im upon pi. So, this is the final expression of average current or the DC current flowing through the full wave rectifier circuit. So, this will be same for full wave center tap and full wave bridge rectifier, because the waveform for the current that we are getting at the output is same for the full wave center tap as well as full wave bridge rectifier. Next will be DC output voltage. We have calculated the current. So, voltage simply we can calculate by multiplying it with the resistance value. So, VDC is IDC into RL. So, VDC we get 2 Im RL upon pi, or in other ways we can calculate it like we have done for the current calculation. VDC we can calculate as 1 upon pi integrating from 0 to pi Vm sin alpha d alpha. From here we get the VDC as 2 Vm upon pi. From here also we can write the same. Im into RL is Vm. So, from here we can write as 2 Vm upon pi. So, we can calculate current and we can multiply it with resistance to find the value of DC voltage, or we can integrate the voltage equation, or we can say voltage output for the duration of 0 to pi to get the DC value as 2 Vm upon pi. AC current, that is the RMS value of current, root mean square. Root mean is square. So, I have made the square of current I square and its mean is taken by 1 by pi 0 to pi and root of whole. So, this expression is giving the root mean square or the AC component of the current of the full wave rectifier. We can calculate in the similar way the root mean square voltage as 1 upon pi 0 to pi V square d alpha and whole raised to the power 1 by 2 will give the root mean square value of the voltage. So, this value of IRMS comes out to be Im upon 2 pi. So, we can solve it also. 1 upon pi 0 to pi, taking this Im square out of this integration as it is independent of alpha. Inside this integration I have sin square alpha into d alpha. Sin square alpha we can write as 1 minus cos 2 alpha by 2. So, this becomes Im square upon pi integration 0 to pi 1 minus cos 2 alpha by 2 d alpha. Taking this 2 out of this integration, this whole will have 1 by 2 because we are calculating root mean square value of the current. So, Im square upon 2 pi, this 2 I have taken out of this integration 0 to pi, inside we have 1 minus cos 2 alpha d alpha. Next, we will have IRMS as Im square upon 2 pi inside integration we have 1 minus cos 2 alpha. So, integration of 1 d alpha will give us alpha, and integration of cos 2 alpha d alpha will give us sin 2 alpha by 2. So, we can write it as alpha with limits 0 to pi, and integration of cos 2 alpha will give us sin 2 alpha by 2 with limits 0 to pi, and whole will be having 1 by 2, that is root mean square value of current. So, simplifying it, we get Im square upon 2 pi, and inside this bracket we get pi minus 0, and here sin pi and sin 0 will be 0. So, inside we will be left with pi only and whole power 1 by 2. So, this we have Im square by 2 whole raised to the power 1 by 2. So, this gives us Im by root 2. So, that is the final expression for RMS value of current for full wave rectifier. So, Vrms, as I told you, we can calculate it by using the equation of current as Vrms from 1 upon pi 0 to pi, and as it is root mean square, so we will take square of voltage and root of this complete expression, or we can simply multiply the RMS value of current that we have calculated by the load resistance. So, we get Vrms as IMRL by root 2, and further we can write it IMRL as Vm, and we get as Vm upon root 2 as root mean square value of the voltage for full wave rectifier. Then DC power output and AC power input. DC power output, and in the input we are calculating AC power, because that is the basic functioning of the rectifier circuit, that we are converting AC signal into the DC signal. So, at the input side we have AC, and at the output side we are getting DC. So, at the input side we find AC power, and at the output side we find DC power at the output. So, DC power we can calculate by using the formula I square R. So, IDC square into RL. IDC we have calculated 2 Im upon pi, so square multiplied by RL. Similarly, AC power input, that we can calculate by using the AC component of the current, that is IRMS. So, IRMS square RF plus RL. This RF is the forward resistance of the diode, and this RL is the load resistance. So, rectifier efficiency, this is the same expression PAC IRMS square RF plus RL, and putting the value of IRMS Im by root 2 whole square RF plus RL. So, rectifier efficiency we know that it is the ratio of output to the input. So, we are calculating in terms of power. So, I have written it as PDC oblique PAC. PDC is the output power and AC power is the input power. So, I have taken the ratio of output power to the input power, that will give the rectifier efficiency. PAC we have calculated Im by root 2 whole square multiplied by RF plus RL. Similarly, we have calculated PAC and PDC. So, putting all these value, we get efficiency at 0.812 RL upon RF plus RL. So this is for the full wave center tap rectifier. Here I have written, in case of bridge rectifier we have 2 RF of resistance, because in the bridge rectifier only one diode is on at a time. So here the contribution of this resistance is from only one diode. In case of bridge rectifier we have total 4 diodes and 2 diodes are on at a time for positive cycle and also for the negative cycle. So everything will remain same for bridge rectifier with the resistance replaced by 2 RF. And here in this expression, if we are considering the diode without any forward resistance, then here we will be having value as Im by root 2 whole square multiplied by RL. So from here all the expressions, this RF will be removed if the diode is not having any forward resistance. So efficiency written without the diode resistance is 0.812 or 81.2% in case of full wave rectifier. Form factor is the ratio of RMS value of DC output current. So it can be mathematically written as the ratio of RMS value of current to the DC output current. So putting the values that we have calculated for RMS current and DC current, we get form factor of full wave rectifier as 1.11. So this is just to show the expression if we calculate for voltages, like all the derivation that I have done in terms of current. So if we want to calculate the voltages instead of current, then we can follow the same procedure. VDC, I already told you, 1 upon pi 0 to pi Vm sin omega t d omega t will give us 2 Vm upon pi. Vrms, we can calculate it 1 upon pi 0 to pi Vm sin omega t whole square d omega t, and complete root, or that I have written 1 by 2 will give us Vm by root 2. We have calculated it for the current Im by root 2. So rectification efficiency we can calculate it, we have calculated with the current, can calculate it in terms of voltages VDC by Vrms. So that will give us 80% efficiency for the full wave rectifier. Ripple factor, full wave rectifier we have Irms as Im by root 2 and IDC as 2 Im by pi. So ripple factor we have discussed in detail while we were discussing about half wave rectifier, that it is root of Irms upon IDC whole square minus 1. So that putting the values we get ripple factor as 0.48 for the full wave rectifier. For the full wave bridge rectifier, similarly we can calculate, it will be 0.482 for the full wave bridge rectifier. This is the comparison table for the two types of the full wave rectifier. One is center tap full wave rectifier and the second one is full wave bridge rectifier. So this all we have discussed. In center tap we have 2 diodes, in bridge rectifier we have 4 diodes. Efficiency is around 80%. There is difference in PIV. For center tap we have 2 Vm and for bridge rectifier we have Vm. So PIV for center tap full wave bridge rectifier is higher, means the center tap rectifier, so the diode can withstand higher voltage values without getting damaged. Transformer utilization factor 0.69 for center tap and 0.812 for bridge rectifier. form factor will be same for both, peak factor will be same, average current will be same, and output frequency will be same, because output we are getting same for both type of rectifier, either it is center tap or the bridge rectifier. So, that frequency is 2f, because this total cycle of the input was till here, that is T. Then the next and important circuit using the diode is voltage multiplier. What is voltage multiplier? A voltage multiplier is an electronic circuit that delivers the output voltage whose amplitude is 2, 3 or many times that of the input voltage. Or we can say voltage multiplier is an electronic circuit that converts the low AC voltage into a high level of the DC voltage. So, this seems to be similar like the rectifier, that it is converting AC voltage to DC voltage. But there is a difference in voltage multiplier circuit. In the rectifier circuit, we have seen that we are converting AC to DC, but its maximum peak is limiting to the maximum peak of the input. Either we can get up to the maximum value of the input, or we will be getting lower than the maximum peak of the input. How we will get less in case of rectifier? Like if I have applied an input having maximum peak of Vp and I have applied a diode that is having a drop of 0.8. So, the output that I will be getting will be Vp minus 0.8. So, in case of rectifier circuits, we get the output that is either equal to the peak value of the input or less than the peak value of the input, and AC is converted to DC. But in voltage multiplier, we are converting AC voltage to DC voltage, and we are creating an output, or we are getting an output that is having the peak value at the output that is higher than that of the input peak. That higher value could be 2, 3 or more times higher than that of the input signal. So, there are several applications of this multiplier circuits, and in this multiplier circuit we have resistance, capacitance and diodes as we did for the rectifier circuits. So, different type of multipliers are voltage doubler, tripler and quadruple. In voltage doubler, we have two types of voltage doublers, half wave voltage doubler and full wave voltage doubler. As name suggests, voltage doubler doubles the peak value of voltage. Tripler, in the voltage tripler, we get the output voltage that is 3 times to that of input peak voltage. Similarly, voltage quadruple, we get the output voltage that is 4 times to that of the input peak voltage. So, in the next lecture, I will continue from the same, that in detail of the voltage multipliers. Thank you.